Alright, so hello, Mr. Riley. Good boy, Mr. Riley. We might be setting a record for getting off to a late start today. It is super late. I have no idea what time it is. Just super late. It's been raining lightly all morning long, so that has contributed to our late start. Oh buddy, we are still at the Laurel Ridge campsite. That's where we set up our tent last night. Hold up, Riley, hold up buddy. Riley, hold up, we're not going that way, Riley. And that was that's enough room for a one-person tent, but not enough room for a two-person tent. Riley, not that way. It was long enough in length, but in width. So I set it up lengthwise that way, but in width, my two-person tent needs a lot of room. And so I basically set my pack up here and pulled the vestibule on this side, like over the rock, and then attached it to my pack with a carabiner. And then on that side I was able to stake it in, but like on the hill over there. All right, Riley, come on. Let's get out of here and get started moving. The rocks are going to be slippery today. I feel like we're walking into somebody's tent site here. Yeah, we are. We're coming out a different way. So this was another tent site where someone was probably set up. Also a small place. That's probably also a very small tent site. Now we're getting onto the official side trail for the Laurel Ridge campsite that will lead back to the AT. There's a lot of tent sites in this place, and it was just all filled up last night. Kind of surprising. And that's another tent site over there that was filled up last night. So we actually got to we finished the Sages Ravine section, which was kind of a long stretch last night, and we got to this Welcome to Massachusetts sign, which had a logbook in it, and I stopped to sign it. And Riley and I decided to take a break there last night. Riley, hold up, buddy, hold up. And it was about 9 o'clock. And I just decided to rest up there before our final push to get to this campsite. It was only like 9 o'clock, and we had about a mile to go to get to the campsite. And then we did the mile in decent time once we got moving again. And then we got here. I actually stayed here. I remember I stayed here in 2018 as well. But there were not nearly as many people here back in 2018 when I stayed here. And because this campsite goes on for there's so many spots to it, we ended up having to do a decent amount of walking just to find our spot. And then it took a long time to get my tent set up, and we didn't crawl into the tent until around 11 p.m. And then I was up pretty late last night. I enjoyed actually getting in our tent and then finally being able to relax. Here's a privy here. This is the welcome sign for the campsite. Oh, Riley. Yeah, let's just go. I'm not going to sign the logbook. And now we're heading back to the AT. Riley, hold up, buddy. Hold up. So at least Riley's moving. He seems eager to move. So that is a very good sign. And on the positive side, we don't have to worry about the heat today. We don't have to worry about the heat today, so that's a good thing. Hold up, buddy. Almost, Riley. Almost. Almost, buddy. Alright, so we're getting back to the AT here. It always goes quicker in the morning, I feel like. Riley, hold up. Riley. Oh my goodness. Riley, we're going this way, buddy. Riley, hey, Riley. Alright, so now we're on the AT again. Nice wide trail here. And it's also good that it's not raining heavily right now. And now that we're moving, we'll be able to warm our bodies up and it'll start to feel better. Alright, so we're back on the trail here. Riley, hold up, buddy. Me first, Riley. Riley definitely seems like he has excellent energy this morning. Oh, there's another hiker there. Oh my goodness. Alright, so we just crossed paths with that other hiker. I asked him if he likes dogs and he said no, and I said okay, I'll try to keep him away from you. And fortunately Riley seems happy to keep moving. Oh, buddy. All right, so I'm starting to feel a little bit better. But boy, oh boy, we are getting off to a late start. While I was getting the tent set up last night, I had Riley secured to like a tree trunk close by. And he was hearing noises from people in the other tents. And he was barking and growling. He was hearing noises that he did not like. And there was some person was playing some low bass music, which wasn't really loud, but it was, because of the low bass, it was very easy to hear. And I feel like that was something that was disturbing Riley last night. And it was kind of annoying for me as well. Just because it was so late at night. Like, given that there were so many people at the campsite last night, I feel like whoever was doing that shouldn't have been doing that. Just keep quiet and let people sleep. At least keep quiet with things you can control. Like, I can't always control if Riley is making noise, but obviously playing music is something you can easily control. But it's not a big deal. It's just music. So I'm just sharing my normal complaints, but I recognize that these complaints are not huge deals. And then this morning, some of the people in the nearby campsites started getting up to leave while it was still dark out. I don't know what time it was. I'm guessing like 4 or 5 in the morning. But I heard people talking and getting ready to leave, and I opened my eyes and it was still dark. But we were definitely the last ones to leave the campsite by a long shot. Riley, hold up, buddy. Hey, these rocks are very slick, so we gotta be careful crossing them here. All right, very good. So I made too much progress on my cinnamon buns. I started eating the cinnamon buns and they were so delicious. And I'm down to like, I had 4 and I'm down to like less than 1. I have almost a full one left. They are super good. Super, super good. And I ate all my peaches. The peaches were actually very, very good. They were discounted produce because I guess they were getting close to going bad. But they were still ripe. Nice and juicy, very delicious peaches. And I started reading my book last night, my new book, The Firm, by John Grisham. I read the first chapter, a whole chapter, in just one night, which is a lot for me, given how slow of a reader I am, and how little time I'm able to usually find to actually devote to trying to read. But I was just like motivated to read last night, and I'm definitely into the book. I could have tented right there last night. That would have been a good spot. So I learned that this copy of the Firm that I have, it's like a newer print, although it's the original story. But it has like a foreword by John Grisham in the front with his reflections on the book 25 years after it was first printed. I think it was first printed, according to what I read, in like 1991, and I think he wrote the foreword in like 2016, so like 25 years later, which is like 8 years ago at this point. And I didn't know this, I learned that John Grisham actually went to law school, and when he graduated from law school, he started his own legal practice, and he was actually a local politician as well, and he was writing as a side hobby. And apparently his first book was The Pelican Brief, and that book didn't do very well, and his second book was The Firm, and that initially didn't do very well at all. I mean, either, because it wasn't published due to disputes he had with his editor / publisher or something like that. But then apparently people in the movie industry somehow got a copy of the book, and they were like, this would make an excellent movie. And then things started to completely turn for him, and he was able to sell the rights to the book to produce the movie, and that helped the book get published. And then when the movie came out, that was like the big change for him. That instantly made his book popular and helped his book sales, and then that caused people to start taking interest in his first book. But I didn't know that he was. I haven't read many John Grisham books before, if any. But apparently he's well known for legal thrillers. And I did not know that he went to law school, so he seems to be writing his legal thrillers from some, he's got some personal experience in the field, which you would have to, I would think, you would have to have some type of some type of experience to be able to write things that are interesting and, just write things that other people will want to read. But But yeah, so the first chapter, I mean, I would assume many people have seen the movie The Firm, but this first chapter that I read last night, the main character is Mitchell McDeer, and he's got a wife, Abby, and he is in his last year at in law school at Harvard, and he's an excellent student, and he interviewed with this firm in Memphis. He's already secured like 3 job offers from firms in Chicago and New York, and he decided to take this additional interview in Memphis, and he's mainly interested in what the compensation is, and they offer him, well, they beat around the bush for a while with chit chat, but then they do discuss compensation, and they say that he would get like $80,000 a year plus bonuses, plus a low interest rate mortgage loan to buy a house in the area, plus a use of a new BMW. And this was back in the early 90s, so $80,000 a year was quite a good salary. Still not a bad salary, but even better back in the early 90s. And this offer was much better than the offers he had already received from the other firms he had interviewed with. So the chapter concluded with him sharing the good news with his wife over Chinese food, chicken chow mein and egg foo young, and a expensive bottle of wine. And his wife is like, I don't understand how are they able to be so generous with their compensation? And this firm that he's interviewing with specializes in tax law, and specifically international taxation, and they say they only hire they only accept rich clients that can pay their fees with no problem. But yeah, as I know from watching the movie previously, the firm is very shady and involved in some illegal practices, and that's partly how they're able to make so much money. And they have like a 0 turnover rate. Actually, in the foreword to the book, John Grisham shared that he got the idea for this book from his time in law school, and he said that he wasn't actually pursuing a job with a big law firm at a law school, but he had classmates that were pursuing jobs who were seeking interviews. Hold up, Riley, I gotta be careful here. By the way, we are going up Mount Race currently. Hold up, Riley. Riley, hold up. I gotta get around you here, man. I gotta get around you. Hold up, Riley. Riley, hold up. And the rocks are slick today. So they are definitely more dangerous. Just the slightest miscalculation of how to balance your weight can cause you to lose your balance super easily. Whereas if it wasn't slick, then most likely you wouldn't lose your balance. All right, there we go. Right, so John Grisham was explaining that he was kind of living vicariously through his other classmates' experiences who were pursuing jobs with big law firms, and they would go out on these interviews and then they would come back to campus and share their experiences. And he said that one of the stories that one of his classmates had was that he interviewed with this one firm, and it seemed like kind of a weird firm. It was small, and he got the impression that nobody ever left the firm. And he got the impression, he didn't say that the firm told him this, but he just kind of got a weird feeling from him, and he got kind of a feeling that they did business with the mafia. That's what John Grisham put in his foreword. And so that was the kind of the inspiration for how he got the idea to write this book, The Firm. And I have seen the movie The Firm, but it's been many, many years since I last saw it. And I don't remember the details of exactly what the firm was doing and how everything went down. So I will definitely be interested, still interested to read the book and follow along as the plot develops. So I feel like I'm pretty much exhausting my whole GoPro battery here just talking this morning. I always feel like I talk the most in the mornings. So hopefully Riley will continue to hike well like he's hiking now today. Today is Sunday, August 18th, day number 108 of our AT through hike attempt. Riley, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. Riley, can you please stop pulling on me? Please stop pulling. Please, Riley. Please, relax. Thank you. So this is a, I think I've seen this before on trail, or like earlier on trail, but this is a pile of rocks, and it is a rock cairn, and it's one of the first ones that I've seen up here. They're very popular in New Hampshire, but you see how they have blazes on the white blazes on the actual rocks on the ground because there's not a lot of trees. So back there were kind of two directions to go, and I wasn't sure where to go, and I saw this pile of rocks here, and I said, oh, that must be the way to go. So they use rock cairns to mark the direction where to go, because it's not easy to put blazes on trees, and when you're far away from the next blaze, it's not easy to see it if it's painted on the rock face that you're walking on. We are climbing up Mount Everett. Oh no, Riley, I think we're going the wrong way. Riley, over here. Come on, hey, over here, buddy. I let Riley lead, and he took that path probably leads to the same place, but this is the correct path to go on. I am friggin' exhausted. I am going up so slow. It was an effort just to get my camera out of my pocket, because I had put a jar of peanut butter and my bug net in the same pocket, and it was on top of the camera, and I initially reached in to get my camera, and I forgot that the peanut butter jar was on top of it, and I was like, oh well, too much effort. So initially I was like, I'm not gonna film anything. Then a couple steps later, I was like, whatever. I'll just take the peanut butter jar out of the pocket and get my camera out. We've been going up this for a long time. There's steps, wooden steps built into several stretches of the rock face here. I don't have much to say. Just exhausted. I keep telling Riley to get behind me because I feel like it's easier. But then I just get exhausted telling him to stay behind me. Hold up, buddy. Riley, hold up. Gotta make sure I get the right footing here, Riley. Hold up, buddy. We passed a southbounder a little while ago. He was hiking in nothing but shorts. He had shoes on, of course, but he didn't have a shirt on. And I said when I saw him, I was like, you are such a beast for walking out here in the rain with just a pair of shorts on. I started the day with our rain gear on, and then it kind of stopped raining, so I took it off because I was getting warm. And then it started raining again, so I put our rain gear back on. And then just a short while ago, it stopped raining again, and I was starting to get warm. So I stopped to take our rain gear off again. And that's exhausting too. Ugh. All I do is complain, complain, complain. Riley got his leash tangled up in his hind legs, as he does quite often earlier, and I was picking up his left hind leg to try to get it over the leash. What are you doing? And I picked it up like really high, and he yelped. He was like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm sorry, Riley, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you. And I quickly relaxed his leg. Fortunately, he seems to be fine. My pad that I have attached to the top of my pack keeps brushing up against the trees when we go through narrow stretches. So I think we're at least close to the top of Mount Everett. But then we have to descend it. By the way, the descent from Mount Race, I didn't capture much of it on camera, but that was quite tricky on the slick rocks. I had to be extra careful and take it very, very slow to make sure we didn't slip. Alright, so I think that's enough for now. I got nothing more to say. All I have to say is that I'm exhausted. So we'll check in later. By the way, once we get down Mount Everett. We're going to be very close to a shelter called the Hemlock Shelter. And then interestingly, there's another shelter 0.1 miles after the Hemlock Shelter. 2 shelters within a tenth of a mile. And when we get there, we'll have done 4.5 miles on the day. So we got off to a very late start, and we are not catching up very fast. We still have a good bit of effort just to get to the Hemlock Shelter. Mount Everett Summit, Laurel Ridge Campsite. That's where we stayed last night. 3.7 miles. AT that way. Oh my goodness, Riley! Mount Everett Fire Tower, 1915 to 2002. Maybe. Oh, maybe. I don't see a fire tower. Maybe there used to be a fire tower and it's no longer up here. Maybe so. All right, Mr. Riley, hold up. Stay there, buddy. Hold up. Stay there, Riley. All right, so we got a good view here. Trail came from that way, and fortunately we can come down and then take it down this way. It'll be a little tricky, but got a nice view here. Yeah. And we have blue skies above, finally. Sun's out over there, and that is Mr. Big Blue. Yeah, Big Blue and I know each other from way back.
Glasgow.
Yes, Glasgow. And then we went a long time without seeing each other, and then back at Gilder's Pond picnic area, I think, or Gilder's picnic area.
Yeah, coming off Mount Everett.
Yep, he came hiking down, and we are reunited on the trail. So, all right, so we're gonna continue on here. Oh man, tale of 2 days. So we hiked the first 4.5 miles today, up and over Mount Race, and then Mount Everett. And then we hiked down Mount Everett and got to this picnic area where there was this parking area called Gilder's Picnic Area, I think. That was just a little bit before the Hemlock Shelter. It's okay, Riley. And then Big Blue showed up. Big Blue's right up there. And Big Blue and I hiked out together. And Riley has just been so motivated. He's just been so energized. And it's just been so nice to hike with Riley without him resisting at all. And I think we're gonna go into Great Barrington tonight. And Big Blue and I are gonna split a room with Riley. And that's Wiki up there. So, and the terrain has eased up quite a bit as well as we're approaching Great Barrington. And Riley's just so energized. So the day's turning into a nice one. Oh man, the day has improved so much. I was just saying how crazy exhausted I was earlier, and I was exhausted, but it makes such a difference to have other people to hike with. Number one, because Riley is just super energized when there's other people to hike with. So there's no more worrying about him like hiking behind me and then just like stopping. He's just like ready to go. Though, I mean, the only thing I have to be careful with is that he doesn't like pull me over. I've actually fallen 3 times since I started hiking out of that picnic area with Big Blue. Because I just tripped on stuff. The first 2 times I fell back and my pack broke my fall. And then this last time, so I was fine. This last time I kind of fell on my side here, on the side, kind of on my right hip. And that's kind of a tender area because I've fallen on that spot before, so I'm able to walk fine, but I can feel it more when I like if I'm hiking up the mountain and I specifically use my right leg to power myself upwards. I can feel it more then. I think they're waiting on me now, just to make sure I'm okay. That's nice of them. So at least I can walk on it, and I feel like I just aggravated it a little bit. I think there's also a chance that when I wake up tomorrow it might stiffen up a bit and it might feel a little bit worse, but hopefully it's okay. Indeed, of course, hopefully it's okay. But yeah, so I'm slightly concerned, but not crazy concerned. I think it'll be okay. And yeah, Riley is so happy. And yeah, so I think, what was I gonna say? So Big Blue told me when I saw him that he was planning on going into, getting a room at the Comfort Inn in Great Barrington. Great Barrington's a pretty big town, so they have several lodging options. Comfort Inn is one of them. And immediately he was like, "You're welcome to stay with me if you want." So he called them, and they do allow dogs as long as they're service dogs. And so Riley is a service dog for tonight. And I think it'll be fun to, it's not gonna be too expensive because we're splitting the room, and I think it'll be fun to spend the night with Big Blue, and I think it'll be very comfortable sleeping in a bed, and I think Riley will enjoy it. And it is I think it's definitely past 6 p.m. now. It's probably getting close to 7, so we're almost at the end of the day, and I think we have maybe a little less than a mile to go. So we're basically almost at the end of the day. I mean, we could hike on and get a few more miles in, but at the same time we could just go into town and get some good food, and I can take a shower. Haven't had a shower in a long time, and the only tricky thing is I need to find a way to get back on trail tomorrow, so I'll probably need to call a shuttle driver tonight and arrange for a pickup tomorrow morning, and hopefully that won't be too expensive because it's only like a 3 to 5 mile ride. So yeah, hopefully there's someone who'll give me a ride for a reasonable price. But yeah, looking forward to a good night tonight. All right, so this is our road crossing right up ahead. Mr. Riley is right behind me. This is Route 7, I believe. And Big Blue already has a shuttle driver, a guy he knew actually, who's gonna give us a ride into town. His name is Iceman, and he's actually been trail magicking us today. He met us at a road crossing like 1.7 miles back and gave us all a soda, gave me a root beer. At the Gilder's Pond area, he gave me a bag of chips and an orange soda. Oh boy, today is just such a nice day, and Riley's so happy.